Hello there. First of all, I didn't I didn't post any videos because I was very busy. There was a family barbecue out of state, and the very next day, again out of state, was my niece's bridal shower. And both nights, I did not expect to get home as late as I did, but with my foot, because I didn't just sit the entire time. So, needless to say, I was hurting. And that's why also yesterday on Monday, I just kind of, because I knew I'd need a couple days of staying off my foot for long periods, because that was a lot for for my foot. But it was fabulous. It was fabulous. Both, both things. It was a lot of fun. But I know I have not addressed the attempted Trump assassination. No, I'm not gonna dial it down any. Um, MAGA accusing Democrats of cranking up the heat, and no. First of all, if you don't know, we will get this straight. Get this correct. Do not get this jumbled up. The guy was a registered Republican. The guy, Peep Neighbors said over the years he's flown MAGA and Trump flags and such. So it appeared he was 21, I believe. Yes, he was killed. Um, Trump, it really grazed the top of his ear. Basically, it just grazed his ear. From what it looks like, or it went, but not like just went right through. So I'm not saying big baby, but initially that day, the next day he could be rattled. I get that, but he's milking it, and be prepared for that. I'm not brushing it off, but you didn't see Reagan. Anybody who has been shot at, any Democrat, Republic, president, you didn't see them crying and clutching their pearls and blaming everything of that on their opponents, especially when the one who did the shooting was a Republican. Um, Even his own party obviously wants him gone. I'm not going to say, oh, too bad he didn't get shot, killed. Because I really, really, even for somebody like him, I don't like feeling that way. But the way I will phrase it, if something happened to Putin or Trump in the course of, you know, your natural life that you live every day, that wouldn't be the worst thing for Russia or for America or for the country. It wouldn't be an awful thing. It would be awful to the people that actually care about them. Um, but if they're that awful, it's not just Americans that can't stand Trump and MAGA. It's others too. They see it. The world sees it. Um, it's not that I'm going to say I wish somebody would kill him or something like that, or too bad they missed. But I will say, if he hadn't missed, the world, the country would be better off, and thus the world, this planet. And B, it people think it would have, if he had been killed, MAGA would have just, the supporters just would have gone nuts and just, you know, it would have been a civil war. However, I'm not sure. I think there's enough Republicans left. I mean, real, actual Republicans left in, like, Congress, Senate, you know, and Republicans that are not with MAGA type of thing. Democrats, I think we could you know, it wouldn't. God, I just don't. I'm having a hard time talking about this because you know how I feel about that whole family. If they're that, if a person is that hated, then then the people that love them either love them just because they're related, or they're not that good of a person either. And I don't want to say stuff like that because it sounds so judgmental, but it's kind of like you don't state, you know, it's like I say, people, oh, if you say I'm not going to vote, or I don't like Biden but I can't stand Trump, so I'm just going to write somebody in, or I'll vote for a third party if it's that. Don't do that. You're diluting the vote. And the people that say, well, then I just won't vote for anybody, well, that's not a good idea either, because if you're silent and you don't stand up against things that you know are wrong, then you're complacent. You may as well have just said you're for them. Because if you don't stand against evil and things like this, then you're standing for them by not taking a side. By not taking a side, you're saying, I don't care. And if you don't care, then you don't care if evil wins. So you're taking evil's side. Because you're certainly not taking good side. You know, the fair, the moral, the correct, humane side. Okay? And quite frankly, I don't care if you like it or not. When Trump was first in 16, I had friends that I knew back in, that I was on Facebook that I knew back in, when I lived in Arizona. And several of them were, well, oh no, of course I don't like Trump, but I don't like Biden either. And I told them then, when it's a close election, and like this one, if it's a close election and somebody is absolutely, you don't like them, either of them, but one of them, there's some things that you just don't like of their policies, and the other one is like absolutely not even, you won't even think about it, that's when people start looking. I know I'm not voting for Trump, but maybe I'll, you know, if there's a third party, if there's an independent, I'll write, you know, I'll vote for them, or I'll just write somebody in that I wanted to run. Well, that means it's not a vote for either of them, but you voted. Normally, it wouldn't, when it's not a close election, yes, it's making a point, taking a stand. Just like going and voting your ticket, but not voting for either one of them. That's better. If you don't want to vote for either one of them, so you're going to do a write-in or a third party, how about go vote your ticket and don't actually fill it in? Because if you've ever noticed with elections, it's like 60% this and 50-something% that, but it never usually comes to 100% of the voters. And if you're thinking, oh, what the hell are those 1%? What's going on with that? This is what happens. When you're voting, they tab, let's say 100 people voted, but only 90 of them actually filled in a dot for president. Maybe they filled in all the others, but they didn't fill that in. So neither person gets that vote. So it's completely out. They don't even count it. It's not, you know, I mean, they do count it. But what I'm saying is it cancels out, you know. But when you write in or vote a third party, it's actually diluting the vote because you're saying that person had no intention of ever voting for Trump, right? That's that group I was talking about. They know they're not going to vote for Trump, but they're not thrilled with so they're going to dilute it by somebody else. You see what that's going to do? That's not going to affect how many of those 100 voted for Trump to start with. But it will decrease who is going to vote for Biden if you vote for another party or you write it in. If you go in and you don't go for either, nobody gets a tick given or taken. See what I'm saying? So if you don't want to vote for either one of them and you're going to write in a name or you're going to do a third party, it's not one of the two mains, because you absolutely don't want Trump but you're not real thrilled with Biden, please, if that's the way you feel and you have not chosen and you haven't changed your idea about Biden by election day, I am begging you, please, instead of voting a third person to make a point or voting a write-in to make a point, this time, please, because it is very close, especially with everything that's going on and adding to it. If you don't absolutely won't vote for Trump and you really don't want to vote for Biden, then please don't fill in either. If there's anything else on the ballot, fill that out, you know, whatever. But please do not fill in any. It'll be accepted. It'll just say, oh, they you know, like this one or that one on these other issues, but they didn't like either. That is more of a statement, because that's saying you both suck. When you write somebody in, it's saying, well, eeny meeny was the last person left when we were choosing sides. That's not really endorsing the, you know. So it would be much less likely if for the people that absolutely will not vote for Trump but really don't want to vote for Biden and want to write in, or like I said, a third part or something on this election, as much as it's a sour taste, just don't vote either. Do not write anybody in and do not fill in any dots, any circles, okay? Because what that will do is you won't give Biden that vote, but you're not going to dilute Biden's vote either. So you're not going to give Trump a chance, because the more his vote's diluted, if only 10 did it, that's one thing. If 20 or 30 people didn't like Biden, but they wouldn't vote for Trump, well, all of a sudden, there's still less for Trump. I mean, just still less for Biden. Do you see what I'm saying? So you either vote for neither. If there is no way on this green earth that you're going to vote for Trump, then either vote for Democrat, don't vote for Biden, or and I'm not saying don't vote, because that's a difference. If you don't vote, the person is not counted as part of the figuring. If you went to an election class, you would understand, or if you read for your state. But I'm telling you, if you do not want to vote for Trump, but you're not super thrilled about voting for Biden, and you do decide that I'll just write in, or whoever else, you know, but you're not going to, don't do that. Just don't fill in that. Get your ballot and turn it in with neither of those poked, you know, circled in, whatever their method, circled, tapped, whatever. Because electronic ones are coming through now, but electronic voting stuff, that updating, yeah. Anyway, please, I know I'm repeating it, but again, if you have no intention of voting for Trump, but you just can't vote for Biden either, and you're planning on writing in or voting in independent or not voting at all because you just fuck them, that's only going to give more edge to MAGA, to Trump. That is how it works. Do not just not vote. Go, stand in line, get your ballot, go into your little cubicle, whatever, and go behind your curtain. And if that's the only thing we're voting, that's on the ballot, go in there, put it through. Do not hit, put it in, act like you're going to vote. Do not press any of the either one, and then just, next or whatever. And that way it tabulates differently. Believe me, it tabulates differently, especially when there's not just president to vote for. You want to vote for those other things. But you don't have to vote for the yes or no, for propositions and stuff. That makes sense. It's either yes or no. You're not sitting on the fence, Get off it and make a decision. But that's not the same as a person, Something that's all set in stone is different than a person who changes and such. But yes, please go vote. And even if you don't like either one of them and you refuse to vote for either one of them, go get your ballot, put it through, but just don't vote that particular. It will go through. You don't have to vote it. It's like the SATs or something. If you don't fill in a thing, they don't refuse to take your test. They just grade with what you've done. And that's kind of what they'll do. So, itch on my back. If I confused you or something, and you actually want to know what I'm talking about, because you don't want Trump to win, then please ask, and I'll contact you. Even if you want to just do it, just like a DM or something like that, that's fine too. But it's really important because a lot of people don't really know how election day and how after election polls and how it all works, or even before. And it's hard to grasp all of it if you don't ever take one of those classes or something. If you work for the election, if you work on election day, like the polling place or something, every year you have to, because things can change in your state, but every year you have to go to that class. It's like it used to be like 3 hour, now it's 3.5 hour class, and about an hour thing online before you even go to the class. But it actually teaches you a lot more than you probably don't realize how much actually is done. It was obvious people don't. When Trump and MAGA was so easily able to convince so many people that the election was rigged and stolen and yada 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 yada. If you actually know how they are run, if you've ever worked them, the possibilities of that happening are so infinitesimal in the way that they said. It's not. And you also heard a lot that the whole thing with Ruby and with May and the election workers. I was saying it back then. I was yelling it on comments, saying if you knew how they worked, that's not at all no. And it wasn't even my state. States are different with your election rules, but generally all elections run pretty much the same in each state. What changes is does this have to be notarized, or does this? Can you do this? Do you need to do that? Does this? How long do you have? When's the cut? Those kind of things. That's not the basic how they run for checking each other to make sure there's no election shenanigans, you know. But a lot of people, average civilian, hasn't bothered to learn how the election day works and each position and how it keeps from doing what they've accused of. If anybody who believes that is very clearly, to someone like me, does not has never even explored helping out during elections. You sure have a big mouth for somebody who doesn't contribute and participate in our government in the areas that the average person it can participate, which is voting. Those people obviously don't vote much because, or they have never bothered to learn about the process, because they wouldn't have believed the stupid lie if they did. That's one of the reasons why I say they're ignorant, because they believe shit, and all you had to do was do a little research, find out how the shit's supposed to work, and see, oh, well, no, that wasn't an unusual. That's very typical. I knew it when they were showing this, their little card or something. I'm like, that's not ballots. That's not how they come, because I know how they effing come. You know? Not to mention, I mean, people bitch when they have to do jury duty. They don't want to help, choose who makes the choice, choose the people that run the government on that particular year. They don't want to put themselves out, but yet they sure want to open their trap and bitch and accuse everybody else about being at fault. When who's really at fault are the people that don't vote, the people that don't learn about your voting process, the people that don't care to inform themselves. Those are the people that are destroying this country, because when you've got a little American Hitler comes along, you blindly follow it. Because you don't have the knowledge of how your own effing country works. When you compare people from other countries and you ask them trivia information, just general stuff that, about other countries, including America, but their own country, they can tell you stuff. You ask Americans about not only other countries, they don't even know half of their own people that are in. That's how much they pay attention to politics, okay? That is how much. Do you understand how easy it is to get an evil little Hitler? To get a little edge into that? People, wake up. Start helping out. Start being informed. Start participating in the government instead of just bitching about it. I feel I have a right to be angry and bitch because I do know how it works, and I do partake more than just voting. This itself. Do you think I like putting myself up here? I never like how I come out in pictures or video. I hate it. I don't like coming here and saying, oh, is somebody going to be a jackass to me that I'm going to have to delete today? No. That has not been my goal in life, okay? I don't care if I'm famous or not. Hey, Raspy, I'm okay. I do it because I give a shit about this country and this country remaining as an American democracy and not a theocratic dictatorship. So, okay, I'm gonna cut this short because he was napping in the other room and he heard me getting upset. I'm sure you saw him coming in before I did. I'm okay, baby boy. I'm okay, babush. Please participate. Participate. Okay? Wasn't that in the movie Get Out? Was that the movie Get Out? Where he's like, you need to participate like a wolf pack. Anyway, please, guys. That's my... And I there's a small thing that keeps every now and then nigging at my brain. And I'm like, It almost it almost looked like that was, God, I don't even want to say it, but it almost looked like it could have been acted out. Like only some people knew. I, because it sure is a good thing to use against Democrats. You know, like, oh, they tried to, who else would have? Except the only reason why I didn't continue on that line of thought is because when I found out he was a Republican, and he could have just done that, you know, to throw it off after the fact, but the fact that neighbors said for years, for the last few years, they've seen Trump and MAGA flags and signs and things like that on his property, on his lawn. Um, so I'm not quite sure what is he like a regular Republican that, you know, there's a lot of them still even in our government that are just, they are not MAGA, and they just really want Republicans to go back to to what Republicans were actually supposed to do. Ow, stop that. You're hurting me now. Enough. Um, so that's on the back burner. I'm not really thinking now that it had anybody had any kind of plan with the guy. But one other thing before I go, because he keeps poking me and I'm getting mad now because it's really hurting. He drew blood a minute ago, so I'm getting cranky. I don't want to get mad at him, but I don't know what he wants. Do not do it again. Do not. Do not do it. I will be up in a minute. Give me a minute. Do not do it. Thank you. Um, you know, Trump, there was a guy, one of the people behind Trump when he was, you know, the first shot. He shot a guy and it killed him. And he was a father with his kids. Why you bring kids to a Trump rally? But it was a father, his wife, and his kid. You know, so he got killed. Do you know what? Biden tried to call the family, but she is such a Trump supporter. The wife wouldn't even pick up the phone. She wouldn't even talk to Biden. And you know what? The guy that they were there worshiping, that her husband gave his life for, still hasn't called them. Is that really the person you idolize? The guy who's supposed to be the enemy calls this woman to tell her, I am sorry that happened. And she won't even talk to him. But the one that she won't talk to him because of, she idolizes Trump, didn't even fucking care that she was alive or dead, how she is, how the kids are. I'm so sorry. Nothing. Nothing. And she still idolized a bastard like that. While the real human tried to call her and she refused to talk to him. Just anybody, just explain to me how that makes sense to so many people. How does that make sense to me? If anybody can explain how that makes sense, I can understand if Trump called her, she would stick by him. The bastard hasn't even called. It's been, what, 3 days now? 2 days? Happened Sunday? He hasn't bothered calling her. Doesn't even know if any of the kids are okay. Anybody who can, please tell me how to make that make sense. Because it makes less than 0 sense. It makes negative sense to me, if that's even possible. That's how little sense it makes to me. And I don't understand why so many people just stick by him, other than because he's exactly like them. And he allows, if you're following and a diehard for Trump, then the only thing that the rest of us can see that you gain from that is that you like him and idolize him because he's just like you. Which means then you're a person that's prone to liking little children for sex. Um, you don't mind just grabbing people by their, sexual parts and just I can what? It's okay for you guys if you love Trump that I can just go ahead and grab your ass or goose you or grab your balls, or what? That's fine? That's fine with you? Because you make it's okay for him? So why is it okay for it not okay for anybody else? So the only reason you guys like Trump, from what a lot of us have been able to deduce, is because you too are a racist, you too are a bigot, you too hate trans people, you too think women should shut up and do what you're told. Because how can somebody who has intelligence and doesn't approve of what I just said be so gung-ho for a guy that is? Make it make sense. And while you're doing that, peace out.